That was a fun day of practice.
It really was. We love joint practices, and Eagles pretty much have them every year now. Some years, 2 sessions of them. Got 2 practices with the Browns this week, and day number 1 was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Hour and 45 minutes. We're going to talk all about it. This is the Eagle Eye Podcast brought to you by Nissan. Reuben, Frank.
I'm not sure what you were looking at. I had an hour 47.
And Dave Zangaro.
I wrote down an hour 47.
It was an hour 45.
You must be rounding down.
They finished at 11:45.
I had 11:47 when they finished. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll just say 1:46. No, we won't, because it was 1:45.
Because it was 1:45.
Anyway, it was about an hour and 3/4.
Maybe your reaction time was a little slow writing down the time.
Could be. It was it was a good day. It was hot.
It got hot. It was kind of like a little overcast early in the day. I think it kind of lulled some people to sleep, some players too, maybe, because when they came out, it was not very hot.
Yeah.
By the end of practice, they were feeling it.
It was blazing. Mm-hmm. It was. And I think it might have affected practice. We'll get to that.
Yeah, I think so. I think some players definitely felt it. Some of the linemen looked a little more gassed than usual.
Yeah.
Jordan Mailata, especially, like he was taking a knee at sometimes. Matt Pryor was dealing with it. Some of the bigger guys, it wasn't easy today.
Definitely.
So here's how we did it today, because joint practices can be a little overwhelming for reporters covering them because there's so much going on and a lot of it at the same time. So, when they do one-on-ones, there's one-on-ones everywhere. You have receivers, DBs, you have running backs, linebackers, you have offensive line, defensive line. And then they go into team drills, and on one field you have the Eagles defense against the Browns offense, and then vice versa on the other field. So Reuben and I divided and conquered today.
We did. So today Dave watched the Eagles offense and I watched the Eagles defense.
And we'll flip it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? Was that the plan?
I'd like to see both sides of this, yes.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Whatever my assignment is, I will carry it out to the best of my ability.
Okay. Well, first, let's get into some of the stuff we do every day, the injury report, depth chart, and then we'll break it up into offense and defense. The injury report today: did not practice A.J. Brown, Elijah Cooks, Landon Dickerson, and Kenyon Green. A.J. Brown has been dealing with a hamstring injury. This, to my understanding, was not a setback of any sort. It was, there's no reason for him to be out there in a joint practice after coming back from a hamstring.
And that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Because nothing good could come of it. And he's such a competitor that you just want to wait till he's 100% to send him out there.
And I think that was the plan there. Landon Dickerson obviously did not practice. He had his meniscus surgery this morning, Wednesday morning. So 3 weeks and a day before they open their season. So the clock is ticking, obviously, but the Eagles are hoping he'll be back against the Cowboys.
It's not a lot of time, but with those scopes, you can be back out there really quickly.
Limited: Zach Bond, Gabe Hall, Miles Hinton, Montrell Johnson, Byron Young. Gabe Hall back is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in that mix for a roster spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think he might be beyond in the mix. I think he has a spot.
It's quite likely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he misses just one day of practice. He's back in the field. Zach Bond, not back in team drills yet, but he did some 7-on-7s today.
Yeah, good to see him back out there. Because those backs, you never know. It's good to have him back.
Yeah.
That's all. Nothing.
Yeah.
Miles Hinton was limited, but in your surviving camp series, he was unlimited.
He was very good in that today.
I recommend that to everybody. It was a fun read.
Thank you. It was fun talking to him about his first NFL game action and his warm-up routine, which I found interesting.
Yeah, and I appreciate the detail on his headphones.
Yeah. It's funny. I was asking him all these detailed questions, and he's probably looking at me like, what are you doing here? But details they make the difference in those types of stories.
Yeah.
So, it's funny. Joint practices kind of bring everyone out.
Yeah.
A lot of dignitaries out there.
There were a lot of former players,
some celebrities, there were some people out there.
There were celebrities?
Well, Gilly was there.
Who?
Gilly.
Gilly.
Uh-huh.
I don't know who Gilly is.
Okay. He was the guy with the big hat.
Oh, I saw that guy.
Yeah.
Okay. That looked really stupid.
Okay. Yeah.
But hey, he's a celebrity. We had Ron Jaworski and Barrett Brooks out there, so we had the crux of the pregame postgame show.
We did, yeah. Jason Kelsey, Fletcher Cox, Brendan Graham even came out to practice today for the first time.
Yeah.
We'll get to him in a little bit.
Yeah, we have a good note on him.
It was fun though. And Malcolm
saw Deuce.
Oh yeah, Deuce. I got to see Deuce too. I got to catch up with him as well. That was good.
Yeah, it was good to see him.
Yeah, he coaches with the Browns now, and it's like I knew that, but I kind of forgot about it until I saw him, and he looks great, by the way.
He looks great.
A ton of weight. Yeah,
he looks really good. Yeah.
Malcolm Jenkins out there taking photos. He's dipping his toes into the photography world. I saw a story. I think it was the Inquirer did a story about him, like working on photography. He's been doing some sports photography, and he was into it today. It was fun watching him.
He was, and I mean, he's got a fancy camera. He's not out there with his phone or anything.
Oh no, he's really into it.
Yeah, he had a fancy camera.
He's taking it seriously,
and he was like, looking for the right angles, and yeah, he was.
He's like on the ground.
Yeah,
and it was fun to watch him be that into it.
Yeah, but knowing Malcolm, whatever he tries,
he's not going to half-ass it.
Yeah, he'll be all in.
Okay, some depth chart stuff today. Brett Toth, again, the first team left guard. Second team left guard, again, Darian Kennard. About halfway through practice, Lane Johnson stopped doing team drills, but that was planned. He said after practice, he told us it was planned for him to do that. And it was Matt Pryor up as the right tackle. So I think that's something to watch there when we're talking swing tackle and who's going to make the team and who might not. Pryor's ability is noteworthy.
Yeah, and it's interesting that he's kind of maybe becoming a tackle more than a guard. He's when he came in 2018, he really looked like a tackle. I mean, he's kind of built like a tackle, not a guard.
But he played way better at guard.
And he's played most of his career at guard. But they seem to. It was funny because Lane just kind of handicapped that whole. He's like, we're looking for that swing guard and who that guy is. So get me out of there and get a look at these guys. He also, did you know that that Landon had his scope? I didn't know that until Lane announced it.
Yeah, Lane announced it too.
Yeah. I think he had his scope this morning.
I checked after to make sure, but yeah, he did have it today.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Sometimes Lane is like, I think I don't know. But he did. Then on defense, thank you for these notes. Sidney Brown was the first safety up. Makuba worked in quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. Keely Ringo began the day as a top corner, but Adoree Jackson got reps, and so did Jacorian Bennett. And then linebackers Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Jihad Campbell. I think he said Swamanda did get a couple of reps.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get into offense or defense.
And Trot did leave the field, went into the trainer's tent briefly, came right back out. Was back at special teams. So
yeah, I don't think he missed any team reps.
No, he did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a little skirmish today.
In special teams?
It was special teams. It was a competitive special teams drill. They're working with jammers and gunners. So you can understand how that would get a little fiery. But for the most part, I thought everyone was on their best behavior today.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of that, it's 92 degrees out there. It's like, do you really want to expend that much energy fighting when you're just trying to get through 2 hours of this, or an hour and 47 of it, or an hour 45 of it?
Looked like the Eagles were pretty eager to get after it in that moment, though.
Yeah. I mean, I think, look, both coaches make it really clear that if you're fighting, you're not getting work done, and they don't want guys fighting. I mean, these joint practices used to just be free-for-alls. There would be fights all the time. Guys get hurt. You punch a guy with a helmet, it's like you break your hand. So for the most part, they were well behaved.
Okay, so what do you want to do here first? Do you want to talk offense or defense?
Let's talk offense.
Okay. On offense, I thought it was kind of an up and down day for the Eagles offense. There were some procedural things that have to get cleaned up, and I thought they got leaky in pass protection. So there were some sacks. in practice, there were some plays where, like Jalen has to get off script quicker than you'd like. I thought they really shined in the run game. And Lane talked about it after practice a little bit, but getting a chance to go up against a Jim Schwartz 4-man front as opposed to all the 5-man fronts they've been seeing from Vic Fangio was kind of a welcome sight at practice. He said their run game is designed to go against those 4-man fronts. So I thought that was a real big strength today. They ran the ball very effectively with Saquon Barkley, with A.J. Dillon, and even with Will Shipley. I thought there were some really big holes for those guys. And Saquon especially looked great powering through them.
Yeah, it's such a big part of their offense, and it's going to remain that way. Like, that's not changing. So, yeah, that was good.
Yeah. And like I said on a previous pod, sometimes the run game is tough to decipher what's what.
Yeah.
But there were definitely some today where you're going, okay, that's a big gain. That's, you're seeing the way they're fitting that, up and the way the blocks are designed to pop off, and they're working in unison. So impressed by the run game today. Jalen Hurts did throw a pick. It was to Ronnie Hickman, the safety. It was a weird play, one where it might have been a sack in a real game. I don't know if he has the opportunity to throw the ball in a real game. He kind of like pumped and then threw it after waiting a long time, but it was ugly and it got picked off.
Yeah. Who was he throwing to? Do you remember?
I don't. Yeah. It was middle of the field and Hickman jumped it.
Okay. I'm not too worried about Jalen.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just telling you what happened.
No,
today.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Johnny Wilson had a good performance today. I didn't get to watch 7-on-7s, but he apparently had a 50-50 ball there. And then he won another one in team drills against Cameron Mitchell, a 5'11" cornerback. So taking advantage of the size difference, but he went up, made the catch. And he's been coming on strong with those contested catches.
Yeah, if he can catch the ball the way he has been, he's making this team. I mean, he might make it anyway just because of his blocking. They love that part of his game, but he's caught the ball pretty well this summer.
I've noticed over the last few weeks just him using his body and his frame way better. It's something that sometimes big players don't always use their size to their advantage the way they should or the way you'd expect them to be able to. And I think that's been the case with Johnny Wilson at times in his first year in the NFL. There were moments where you're saying, like, you're 6'6", you're a pterodactyl out there. Like, use your frame, learn how to box out, be a basketball player, and get the football. And I think he's been doing that like inconsistently, but over the last week or so, it's been a lot more consistent.
Yeah, maybe starting with the game Thursday night. Jalen was asked about if he's learned to use his frame better, and he said no. He said no. He didn't bite on that one. Yeah. He bit on some other stuff.
I think he did, though. I think Johnny Wilson has. Maybe he hasn't learned how, but he's been more consistent with it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I thought the best play of his wasn't a catch. It was a block. It was a Devontae Smith screen. And he had a little cornerback in front of him, but he wiped him out of the play, and it sprung Devontae up the field. That's the difference between a 3-yard gain and a 18-yard gain, that type of block from Johnny Wilson. So that's as much as it's fun to watch him catch the ball, realistically, that's not going to be his role this year.
Right. And he's physical. I think he enjoys that aspect of it. You don't see a lot of young wide receivers come in and have that much, I don't know, just such a comfort level in the blocking game. It's rare. He has it, and he enjoys it. He's good at it, and makes him really valuable.
It does, and he fills a role that they don't have filled otherwise.
Yeah.
And even going back to Zach Pascal, right? Like, they want a receiver they can trust to block. And I understand some people are like, well, why not just like get another tight end out there if that's what you're going to do? But they seem to value that ability in a wide receiver.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting distinction. Maybe it's easier to find. I don't know. I don't know what their thinking is. Maybe it's just a personnel thing, who they have, but he's good at it.
Mm-hmm. Devontae Smith had another nice day. He seems to show up in big moments, and that includes in training camp, like when they're going in a joint practice. He makes plays. He had a touchdown catch. They were working. It wasn't all red zone stuff. They would start at the +30, and work their way in. So, but by the time they get in there, it was like tight red zone play, runs a nice route, gets wide open, and Jalen hits him for a touchdown. He shows up in big moments. And I know that a training camp practice might not seem like a big moment, but it's as big as it gets in training camp.
That's for sure. I just felt like the whole intensity level was raised a little bit today. I mean, their normal practices are pretty intense, but you can just see the guys kind of respond a little bit more. I think that's natural against another team.
I have a few more notes on offense, then we'll get to defense. Dallas Goedert, a few big catches today. He becomes the volume guy when AJ Brown is not out there.
He really does.
It's very clear. There was one in particular, Jalen rolls to his right, and just there's Dallas Goedert. You kind of expect him to be the target, and he is. In terms of the third tight end, if they keep one, Kylan Granson, another couple of catches. He's been the best of the rest, so to speak, after Dallas Goedert and Grant Calcaterra. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. And I think about the start of week 2, he kind of started gapping the field. And I think it's a pretty good gap now. He's been pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And he's kind of different type of tight end. He's more like a move tight end. He's not going to stay in line and give you a ton. So if that's what they're looking for, then maybe he won't make the roster. Maybe like a bigger body like an EJ Jenkins will be better. I don't think Harrison Bryant necessarily is known for his blocking, probably more of an inline guy. Yeah. But I think just in terms of who's looked the best, it's Kylan Granson.
Yeah, catches the ball really well. Doesn't drop it.
Darius Cooper had another couple of catches today. He just found some soft spots in coverage, and him and Tanner McKee, like, if there ever is a game where Tanner McKee needs to play, they better get Darius Cooper in that game.
I've been so impressed with him, with Cooper. That is, I can't get over how maybe polished is a little strong, but just how comfortable he is in the offense coming out of a small school that was not a high-powered program. It was a 1AA or whatever they call it now, FCS. At Tarleton State. And he dominated on that level, but just and even Michael Clay said, like, he'd never played special teams before, and he's been good on special teams. He just seems like a guy who's had a lot of new stuff thrown at him and has been able to handle it all. And he's a smart guy. Kevin Petullo and Michael Clay both pointed out what a great person he is, and character person and hard worker. They love this kid, and I don't know if he's headed for the practice squad or if he'll be on the 53, but I think he's going to be a part of this team somewhere.
Yeah, it seems like it. Great anecdote from Devontae Smith today talking about Cooper, and he said the day after the game on Saturday, he went on YouTube to find Tarleton State games. He wanted to watch more of Darius Cooper because he's like, I think it kind of opened his eyes to how good he can be. And he said he came away just even more impressed by what he was able to do in college.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I asked Devontae who they played, and he said, I have no idea.
I mean, the list of teams they played, I looked some of it up. I was just kind of curious what level. I mean, it's like schools it's all Northwest this and Southeast that, and Kennesaw State. I mean, I think they're going up a lot. I think they're going to 1A either this year or next year. But yeah, when he was there, he's just dominated. I mean, last year he had almost 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns. So he dominated on that level, but it's a big jump, and he's handled it with aplomb.
Not a pair?
Not a pair, plum.
We lasted about 20 minutes before I really talked about Myles Garrett.
Mm.
Good. I mean, what a freak.
Yeah.
I know the Eagles didn't game plan for this practice. That's what Jalen Hurts said, but gosh, they knew where he was on the field, and he has the ability to just ruin a practice. It's amazing to watch. To me, he's the best edge rusher in football, and I don't think it's particularly that close.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. I started thinking, like, who's the best edge rusher who's ever been on that field? You know, like, when did they start practicing there? 2001?
Mm-hmm.
It's him.
It's him. No disrespect to anyone else who's been there, but
yeah, and there's been some good ones, but like, I mean, it's like watching Reggie White. I mean, he's one of the best to ever do it. And just watching him stand there, you're like, wow. And then you see him in action, and it's just so much fun to see anybody who's the best in their field at what they do is exciting.
There was one play where it actually made me smile today because he was on Lane Johnson. So it was Myles Garrett versus Lane Johnson. And then on the outside was Devontae Smith against Denzel Ward. I'm like, this is why you do this. This is why joint practices are so much fun. Like that's hard to find that, and I know what you're saying. Like, yeah, but Devontae goes against Quinion every day. Yeah, but it's like he gets a different cornerback. After 12 practices, you know exactly what the other guy's tricks are. So to see him out there against a different top corner is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of these joint practices is just going up against guys that you just don't know what they're going to do and you haven't faced every day. And it really challenges everybody to be at their best. It's so different than a normal practice is fine, but it just adds such a dimension of competition.
So I actually kind of ran over to the far field when I realized the one-on-ones were about to start. I didn't want to miss the first reps because I figured those might be the most exciting. And I'm glad I made the effort because it was Myles Garrett against Lane Johnson. And I've seen Lane Johnson play football for years. I've covered most of his career. I've seen a lot of one-on-ones. He rarely gives up anything. He got just plain out beat clean on an inside move by Myles Garrett. And it was like, I almost couldn't believe my eyes. I was over there with, it was Jimmy Kempsey, and we were like, what the heck just happened? And then we see Ross Tucker over there, and we're like, Ross, did you see that? It's amazing. Like Lane is one of the best tackles ever, but to see him get beat like that was astounding.
Yeah, you kind of look at Lane like Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And then this even bigger and stronger Superman comes in, and they've worked against each other before. They played against each other. They had joint practices a few years ago. Was that 2022 maybe? So he's seen him, and and Lane held his own in the other. I think the next snap was a stalemate.
I thought Lane did fine the next.
Yeah, but I'm sure Lane, and we talked to Lane after practice, and he what did he say? If
got to get off the ball quick against Myles,
or it's going to be a long day. Yeah.
But and to Lane's credit, when they got in team drills, he did much better against Garrett, even than Jordan Mailata did.
Yeah, and one-on-ones are. Team drills are more what football is.
Sure,
one-on-ones are fun, but
it's definitely slanted toward the defensive player. They have a two-way go basically.
Yeah,
and that was also what I thought about on the inside move is like the spacing's different, but with the way the Eagles tackles play, kind of on islands a lot of the time. In a game, that's actually possible that Garrett wins that inside move like that.
Yeah. And knowing Lane, he'll study that tape all night and he'll get better from it. And that's what this is all about.
Exactly. Who cares if you lose a rep? But it was just fun to watch.
Yeah.
The other little notes, I thought Tyler Steen did a good job against Mason Graham, the first round pick, 5th overall, right? Yeah. 5th overall. Kendall Lamb got beat by Julian Okwara on a bull rush. That was kind of surprising to me.
Oh, we've seen Julian Okwara.
Former Eagle. There are 5 former Eagles on the Browns. Did I make you guess them earlier?
You did.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the people listening.
You said it was 4 because you forgot about Julian Okwara.
Initially, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Julian Okwara, KJ Henry, both quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett, and
Shedeur Sanders.
No. Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco, and DeAndre Carter.
Oh.
Once a training camp darling of yesteryear.
Yeah, long time ago.
Okay.
And Deuce and Jim Schwartz.
Not players, but yes, I
understand.
Good to see Jim Schwartz out there.
Yeah.
Break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Eagles' defense and how they did against the Browns.
You deserve a car that thrills you, a car that puts goosebumps on your goosebumps. At Nissan, we've got everything from turbocharged SUVs to 100% electric vehicles that'll make your heart beat faster. Experience the thrill for yourself and shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
Eagles fans, be a part of the Birds Takeover in Kansas City with NBC Sports Philadelphia and Phillies sports trips. Includes optional airfare, hotel, an exclusive pep rally, all-inclusive tailgate, ticket to the game, and more. Book your Eagles Ultimate Fan Experience today. We are back on the Eagle Eye Podcast, brought to you by Nissan. Reuben Frank and Dave Zangaro. Let's flip over to the Eagles defense. They were on the field next to the Eagles offense. Reuben, you were watching pretty closely. What'd you see?
Yeah, and it's a shame you can't watch both, but there's so many players lined up between the two fields.
I was able to peek over there a few times.
You can, if it's down the field, you can kind of see it. But I thought it was a good day for the defense. They were really good for about 80% of the practice. I think they got a little gassed. Flacco hit a couple of deep balls at the end of practice. At one point, he just couldn't complete a pass because they were in his face. They got great pressure. Josh Uche had another big game. Even Azeez Ojulari had a good pressure. The Browns could not run the ball. They tried. They kept trying. They don't really have an elite back, but they kept trying, and there was just no room there. They tackled well. They filled gaps. It was impressive, and it wasn't all perfect. Keeley had a tough day. He gave up. I think you saw the Jerry Jeudy play.
And that one was troubling because it really looked like the play from Jamar Chase in the preseason game.
Yeah.
Where, you don't mind the catch, but you got to clean up after the catch, and you didn't do that either.
Yeah, and that was the problem on Thursday night.
Friday night.
Was the game Friday or Thursday?
Friday night.
Friday.
Right? Am I wrong about that?
Wasn't the game Thursday night?
I don't even remember. This is what happens when you're this deep into.
Yeah, I don't know what day today is, honestly. When was the game?
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. This is going to drive me crazy. But anyway, so Keeley had two penalties. One was BS. The other was legit. It was Thursday. Yeah, August 7th.
Okay.
We don't know. I mean, I don't know what day today. I honestly don't know what day any day is. But Keeley had a troubling day, and he had the two penalties. One was probably ticky-tack. Gave up a touchdown. Just want to see more plays, and he's just not making them. And, Flacco's smart enough to know just don't throw to Q side, and he didn't. He picked on Keeley, and Keeley had a tough day.
And that's the fear, right? Is like once the games start, maybe you don't throw Quignon's way that much, and maybe you do target whoever it is, whether it's Dory Jackson or Keely Ringo or Jacorian Bennett. I think that's troubling. What did Jacorian do today?
He had a little bit of a tough day too. He gave up a touchdown and gave up another big play, and had a penalty that was probably a good call. Got a few first team reps. The plays he gave up were at the end of practice. I just felt like the Eagles got gassed at the end of practice. That they didn't look as sharp. They didn't look the coverage wasn't as tight. I mean, they covered great early. So I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure if Flacco just warmed up because he made some nice throws later in practice, or if the Eagles defense was just gassed up front. I thought the D was terrific throughout. But at the end, Flacco made a couple plays, but I think it was a win for the Eagles defense, even though they did get a little leaky late.
Okay. So overall, I'm not a big winners, losers person for a practice like this, but there have been some where the Eagles come out and dominate, and it's okay,
yeah,
they won the day. There have been some where they get their teeth kicked in and you go, okay, that's a loss. I thought this one was pretty even.
If you'd asked me at 11-15 or 11-20, I would have said Eagles defense is just killing them, but Browns made up some ground at the end.
Yeah. I just mean overall,
who
won or lost. I think it was pretty even, which maybe not a good thing. If you're the Eagles, you're the more talented team.
Yeah, I did think the Eagles overall won. Their defense won against the Browns offense overall.
Yeah. But then the other side of it was pretty close. Honestly, I'd probably give an advantage to the Browns defense.
Really?
Yeah, because there were Yeah, the Eagles were kind of sloppy offensively. They were giving up pressure and pass protection. The runs were great, but they gave up some sacks. They had the interception, so I'd probably give a slight win to the Browns defense.
Okay, and no AJ, obviously that matters, but
sure,
yeah.
But it was close. That's the point. It wasn't like we've seen some of these where, like the Eagles just dominated, or like I think back to the one in Miami where the Eagles were gassed before practice even started in that heat, and the Dolphins just beat the crap out of them.
Yeah,
we've seen it both ways. Or like you think back to the Tom Brady Patriots ones, right, where the ball doesn't hit the ground and he just dices them up. We've seen it go one way or the other.
After Curtis Marsh 21 straight snaps.
Yeah, this one to me was more even.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. Anything else that we missed from practice today?
Just a second team note. Smile Mondon, really tough physical tackle in the open field. It was nice to see. Physical kid.
Mm-hmm. Anything else defensively that you didn't touch on?
No, I think that's the main stuff. I like the way Trotter. I just like the way he plays. He's never out of position, and he's physical and he's quick. And I don't know what role he's going to have, if any, on defense, but he's come a long way since last year. Late round pick, and it's cool to see. His dad hasn't been around at all.
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
I wonder if that's just intentional, or just kind of just stay away, let him do his thing.
Possibly. I talked to Miles Hinton about his dad for the latest.
He was at the game.
Surviving camp. Yeah, he was at the game, and I asked, like, how does your dad handle tips? And he goes, I go to him, tell him what I saw, and then he tells me what he saw, and if he agrees with me or disagrees with me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I think it's important to, and it's funny, we were talking about this on a day Shedeur Sanders was on the field. And by the way, he didn't get to participate in team drills. What was it, an oblique injury?
Yeah, and warm-ups.
Yeah. So that's a shame. I was hoping we'd get to see, maybe tomorrow we'll see him take some team
reps. He's got an MRI, so
maybe not.
I'm not sure we'll see him tomorrow.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to watching him play.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, I think that if you're the son of an NFL player, you got to figure out how you're going to handle that between you and dad when you're in the league. Like, is he giving you tips every day? Is he watching film with you? Is he kind of more hands off and he lets the coaches deal with it? I think that's something to navigate.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah. And I think it's a tough position for a father. You know, you don't want to like, say anything that's going to kind of go against what the position coach wants. You want to help when you can, but you don't want to impose and overstep your bounds. It's a tricky thing.
My stupid observation of the day.
This is a good one. This is my favorite stupid observation. Of the summer so far.
And this just because I get trash talked.
It's great.
I'm in the back,
but it's a badge of honor getting trash talked by the best ever.
Yeah, but it's not the first time. It happens quite a bit. I'm in the back row of the Jalen Hurts presser. And sometimes from the back row, it's tough to get a question in, but all the seats up front were taken. Even the sides where people stand were kind of occupied. So I sat in the very back row, and I got beat on a question face-off. And then, I know we had talked before. He was like hovering over me. Brandon Graham he was hovering behind me watching Jalen's presser. And I think initially he wanted to get one of those joke questions in, but he saw how good some of the answers Jalen was giving, and he was like, I'm going to back off and let him do his thing. But I got beat in the question face off, and he goes, "You going to let him do you like that? You must have the softer voice." And then I was like, now I got to win the next one. So I came in pretty authoritatively to get my next question in.
Yeah.
But it was very funny to get trash talked by BG after he retires.
Yeah, it's a badge of honor. He's the best. But he would give us so much grief. It would be like 2023, and I'd ask him a question about the game they won, and he'd be like, I ain't talking to you. You said I was a first round bust. Well, first of all, I never said that. And that was 12 years ago. But it was hilarious. I mean, he was so funny. But
it was funny. I actually heard him before I saw him today.
Well, he came out right when one-on-one started, and I mentioned him as that might not be a coincidence. You want a piece of that? He's like, no. It's fun having him around. Love
It
him.
is, yeah. And he has been around. We just haven't seen him in
Yeah.
practice. I think that's all I have from today
Okay.
at practice. You
Yep.
want to? We spoke with Kevin Patullo before, Jalen Hurts after, a few other players after. Anything that got your attention?
Jalen was really thoughtful today.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't open up a lot. As
He's been more talkative in general this training.
He has been more talkative in general, and his answers today I thought were really thoughtful and deep-ish. He's a very deep thinker, and sometimes like he'll be asked a question that requires deep thought, and you can kind of see him thinking, and then he's just like, I just don't want to get into that, and he won't answer. He'll give a very quick answer. But today, I think it was Jeff McClain who asked him about
having more confidence,
winning a Super Bowl. How does that affect you? Does it make you more confident? And I thought I was just going to say no. I've always been confident, but he said it does. He says, well, once you've done something once, you believe you can do it again. And then he talked at length about just his belief in himself and what he's capable of. And
that was the other funny BG thing, by the way. So that question gets asked, and the first way Jalen answers it, have you ever gotten a promotion? And BG goes, yeah, get him.
Yeah. Not exactly a promotion when you win a Super Bowl, but I get what he was getting at. And but yeah, I thought it was a good answer. And he was good about a lot of things. He was good about Scott Loeffler.
Yeah. Shador Sanders.
Yeah.
It was a very cool moment. Jalen was driving around the golf cart today, gave Shador a ride. They drove around the fields. He said Shador came up to him and wanted to talk to him. So he made the effort and tried to give him some advice. He didn't divulge the content of their conversation, but I think it was a notable moment.
Yeah. And he talked about just how that's a big part of his DNA is helping younger players. And he said, if they come up to me, I'm gonna share whatever I can share to help them out. And that's big.
Yeah.
I mean, Shador Sanders, it's got to be like, I can't believe I'm in a golf cart with Jalen. Well, I mean, he's grown up around, some pretty famous people, including his dad, but it's got to be a really cool moment for him. Young guy, just starting out, and to be in a golf cart driving around South Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts.
I got a very funny text before practice. I won't say who sent it to me because I didn't clear it with them to divulge it, but it's a reporter friend. And he said, keep an eye on Shador. That's Deion Sanders' kid. Made me laugh.
That's good.
Yeah.
There was a little uptick in media today.
Yeah, some of the national types
Yeah.
come around for a joint practice because they get to take care of two teams in one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Raises the stakes a little bit.
A little bit.
Anyone else you talked to before or after practice? Anything from Kevin Patullo?
That seems like so long ago.
I know it does.
I remember there was some good stuff, and I don't remember what it was. I haven't gone through it yet, but that was like 8 hours ago.
Well, you asked him about Darius Cooper making the jump, and he really gave a lot of credit to Aaron Moorhead.
Yeah.
And the work he does developing young players.
Yeah. And I'd forgotten they were together at Texas A&M.
A&M,
yeah. Aaron Moorhead is a really good. They got really good position coaches across the board. Aaron Moorhead is terrific. Holdover from Doug Peterson's staff for 1 year, and the young players all the players really, really swear by him. But he's got that ability to develop young guys, and talked to him about Cooper the other day, and they just think that you can tell that they think he's got the potential to be something special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the way they talk about him. And it's always couched in he's got a long way to go. He's got to do it, but it's really exciting to see where this will lead, I think was what Kevin said. So yeah, they really believe in the kid. Might not be this year, but I think he's going to be
worth keeping around.
Yeah, worth keeping an eye on him. He just carries himself like a draft pick. Undrafted out, he's got the confidence of a big school guy or a mid-round, high-round draft pick.
Mm-hmm. No, totally agree.
Makes plays every day.
Just about.
Dave's like, well, day 4, he didn't make any.
Just about. It is amazing though, because before the first preseason game, it wasn't him.
Right.
Like it's so I think like it's easy to say that now in a way because he's become that guy. For a while, it was looking like Elijah Cooks was going to be the guy with the chance to come out of nowhere, make the roster after a bunch of splash plays. But Cooper's obviously now surpassed him.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that way a week ago.
That's right. And I mean, things can change quickly the other way too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's important just to remember because like we get kind of swept away in this stuff. And I agree with you. Like Cooper, and even before that, like Cooper was playing really well. And probably in the shadow a little bit of Cooks, just because Cooks was making some spectacular catches, and now he's been injured for a while.
Yeah.
But he got injured in the game. But yeah, Cooper all training camp has been playing well, but since the game, I think it's been at a different level.
Yeah, I agree. Confident kid.
Lane Johnson was good today.
Gave us a little in the medical report
about Landon Dickerson. Gave a glowing status update on Tyler Steen. Said he's had like an unbelievable camp. Yeah. And with Lane, he's never going to negatively talk about a teammate, but when he goes over the top about the guard next to him, that tells me something because I think he actually has a say. Like if he didn't like Tyler Steen, he has enough clout with Stout to be like, hey, I don't think this is working.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. When you're a Hall of Fame caliber guy, yeah. What you say is huge, especially when it comes to the guy who's playing next to you.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, is there anything else from Lane today? I don't think so. Devontae Smith was good.
I talked about Brett Toth a little bit. He spoke highly of him.
Mm-hmm.
So he said he's having a great camp and it's the best he's ever looked. He's been here for 7 years. They've been teammates since 2019 for most of that time. So yeah. He kind of, I mean, we'll see what happens there at left guard, but right now, Brett Toth looks like the heir apparent.
Yeah, he certainly does. It was good to talk to Zach Ballin today. First time since he's been back at practice. It was funny. He got asked in a bunch of different ways about how different this training camp is for him, and he didn't bite on a lot of them because I don't think he wants to think of it differently. He wants to still act like he has to make this team, but we all know that's not the case. He just signed a giant contract. So eventually we got to the end and I was like, yeah, but what if you were hurt last year like you were this year? He said, yeah, I'd probably be a little more nervous about it. So eventually, like, yeah, okay, it's different this year with Zach Ballin. But he said he's been really impressed by all the other linebackers. He said no matter who wins that job, he feels pretty confident going out there next to them on September 4th.
It's a good group.
It really is. I don't think I think he would have said that either way. But I believe him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's going to shoot you straight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that was about it. I wasn't out there for Devontae. We were in the tent
I was there a little bit for Devontae.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I told you about the Darius Cooper
anecdote.
I asked him, like, what's different about Denzel Ward? And he didn't get into specifics, but he said, you go up against a couple of guys for all training camp. After a while, like, exactly what they're doing. They can only do so much without changing who they are completely, and they're not going to do that. So, seeing just different players and a good player like Ward, it's beneficial, and he sees the benefit of it. And he also said, I asked him, like, because he's such a technician, right? Like, we know how into every like little intricacy of his game he is. I just asked him, like, at this point in your career, how do you even figure out what to do? And he said it starts with an honest look back at your tape and like being able to be brutally honest with yourself and finding those things. He said he's been able to find some.
Interesting. Yeah. Talk to Cooper DeJean. I forgot that. Had a good chat with him. I asked him how, like, getting reps at different positions, is that going to make him a better safety? And he said the more you play at different positions, you kind of see things the way your teammates are going to see them, and it helps you. So he said, reps at safety, even if there were reps at outside corner, and I think he alluded to reps at outside corner at OTAs. He said all that stuff helps him become a better slot corner, just because you can understand how to see the field from other people's perspective. So that was interesting.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You want to do some questions?
Yeah.
All right. If you have a question for us, as always, eagle-eye at NBCUni.com. QR code on the screen. We'll get to just a few today, Rube. We went a while there talking about that joint practice. It was a good one. So we'll start off with Michael. Hey, guys, I've been meaning to send this question in for a while now. When it comes to being the big men on campus, who does that go to on the roster? Basically, who is the biggest and baddest dude out there at any given time? Is it Lane, a younger guy like Jalen Carter? Can it be someone like Mailata? Basically, if there was a 50 or so man all-out Royal Rumble, who is your pick to come out on top?
Jordan Mailata probably doesn't know what big man on campus means since he was never on a campus.
Stoutland University campus.
Yeah, that's true. Who's the toughest guy on the team? Is that the question? Kind of.
Yeah, I guess. I think for a lot of years back in the day, it would have been Jason Peters.
Yeah, no doubt.
The guy you didn't want to mess with.
Yeah. I guess Lane
or Jordan. Jalen Carter's a good one too.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mention he had a knock down a pass at the line of scrimmage, and it's just fun watching him. Had 5 pass breakups, pass knockdowns last year,
which was something he added to his game last year.
He
didn't have any as a rookie.
Yeah, he's so athletic, and it was a Flacco passing. He just kind of leaped up and stuck this giant paw out, and the ball just swatted down. That was a cool play to watch.
He got so good at that last year because he was getting double teamed all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you get double teamed, you're just not going to get to the quarterback. So he was finding a way to make a play without it. That was really impressive to me last year. And that kind of speaks to his football IQ and how savvy he is.
Yeah.
And you hear his teammates talk about it, but something like that, that's a good illustration of it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Ty Robinson bats passes too.
Yeah.
They have some guys who can do that now.
Yeah.
Brian. Hi, Dave and Rube. Thank you for your excellent coverage of our beloved Eagles. I've been listening to you for several years now, and in my opinion, it's the best podcast about the Birds. My question is about the schedule this year. On paper, we have a tough slog for sure, but every year there are teams who everyone thought would be tough but end up having a down year, and teams that no one really saw coming and have excellent years. My question is, which team on our schedule do you think could end up being surprisingly easier than expected, and which could become more difficult? Thank you again, and looking forward to the next episode.
I think the Vikings, coming off a 14-3 season, could be a team that takes a big step backwards.
Yeah, with a rookie quarterback. Well, not a rookie, but
essentially a
rookie.
If it was another sport, he'd be a rookie.
Yeah.
In football, he's not a rookie. But yeah, I think I could see them taking a big step backwards.
I think the Bucs are going to be very good this year.
Yeah, I do too.
I think they're going to clearly win that division. And they always give the Eagles trouble, so maybe that's not as big of a surprise. But that's a tough game at Tampa in week 4. And a team that they might have to see again in the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe that's a dragon that they need to figure out how to slay because it has not gone well. Who did they lose to? They lost to Washington in the wild card round last year.
Mm-hmm.
A close game, right?
It was
27-23 or something.
23-20.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to be formidable.
High-powered offense.
But, I mean, they were a
coach who knows how to coach defense. They have to get Wirfs back on the field.
Yeah. I mean, they were a team that was pretty good last year, but I could see them making a big jump.
I mean, week 3 against the Rams, I don't know when Matt Stafford is going to be back and healthy. That I like the Rams. I think the Rams are a real contender in the NFC, but the quarterback situation gives me pause there.
Who's your backup? Like Joe Germano? Sorry. Rams backup quarterback is that Jimmy Garoppolo.
G, yeah.
Huh? Yeah. That'd be a good and then Stetson Bennett, the 4th. Dresser Wynn. Maybe Dresser Wynn will start that game. Where Dresser Wynn went to college?
I do not.
He went to Tennessee Martin.
Okay.
You know where that is?
Tennessee?
It's in Martin.
Is Martin in Tennessee?
I assume. I don't know why you would call it Tennessee Martin if it's not in both Martin and Tennessee, but yeah, I guess Jimmy Garoppolo would start that game.
Any other teams you think could be much better than expected or much worse than expected?
I wouldn't be surprised if Washington takes a little bit of a step backwards. Just kind of a hunch. 12-5 team last year, NFC Championship game. Made a little book on their quarterback. Now, I think their quarterback's really good, but we'll see. He's not going to sneak up on anyone this year.
Yeah, I think they arrived ahead of schedule. But even if they're worse than 12-5, I don't think they're going to be dreck this year.
No, I would agree with that.
Next one is from Evan. Hey guys, I love the pod and enjoy listening on my walks. Last fall when I was traveling, it was a delight to listen to you two while I walked in the morning in Boston. Insert Rube tangent on the band here.
On the band Boston?
Yeah. It was a good guess by Evan that you would have gone on a tangent there, but
when I was a teenager, I was working at a record store in White Plains, New York, and we ended up at Nassau Coliseum for a Boston concert. I know he's saying he's in Boston, but he said Boston in band, so I'm saying we ended up sitting near an executive, an A&R guy from Epic Records, Roy Free, who took us backstage to meet Boston. I was like 17, and I'm hanging out with, and Tom Schultz didn't come out, but all the other guys came out, Brad Delp and all those guys. And it was, that was pretty cool meeting those guys. They were super nice. And so there's my tangent. Meeting Boston as a teenager.
It's good. Speaking of last year,
and that first album may be the greatest debut album ever.
I am happy we won it all and shouldn't be overly critical of the offense.
No, you shouldn't.
However, I will never understand the point of the play calls where Grant Calcaterra was the lead blocker on obvious non-tush push running downs. It basically felt like a 10 on 11 in those situations. I like his play as a receiver and love that he and Jalen have a solid rapport, but I just don't trust him as a blocker. With the Eagles potentially keeping a fullback and most likely elevating another tight end for each game, do you think the team will ever consider moving him into the slot? Also, have any of the other tight ends on the roster separated themselves as tight end 3?
Well, yeah, and we talked earlier. I think Kylan Granson's pretty clearly the next guy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He's caught the ball really well. Don't think he's going to help a whole lot in the blocking game, but he's the next guy. As far as Calcaterra, is that something they did a lot of last year?
Not a ton. I think
it
obviously
didn't stick out to me as
Goddard missed time, so he
Yeah.
became tight end 1. And I don't know if maybe they didn't change the playbook enough, given that change. But.
I mean, they ran for 3,500 yards last year, so it's kind of hard to complain. But he's not a good blocker.
Okay. Justin. The Eagles keep most of their starters out of preseason games, primarily not to risk injuries, but aren't they just as likely to get injured in these joint practice sessions?
I would say no.
I think definitely not.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not tackling at all.
They're not tackling to the ground, and they're shorter than a game, and it's controlled. Chunks of these practices are one-on-ones. You're not going to get hurt in a one-on-one. So, yeah, I think it's not even close.
And then an interesting one from Justin as well. Also, Nick made it clear a few times last season that on certain plays, it was he, not Kellen, who had called a play. And from the mic'd up tape of the Super Bowl, he was clearly telling Kellen to call the dagger long touchdown pass to Devontae Smith.
You could tell that from the screaming at him.
Have either of
just call it? Sorry.
Have either of you asked? No, you're not. Have either of you asked Nick how often he intends on overriding KP this season? I think the dagger play might give Nick the confidence that maybe he's learned a little about play calling since his first go at play calling, and maybe he has.
It's interesting. He wouldn't tell us. I mean, he wouldn't even. He probably, even that video is there. He probably wouldn't even admit that he called that play because he just won't talk about that.
And as far as I think there was like a back and forth. It wasn't like he just said, call this play.
He kind of did at the end. I mean, he's like, just call it.
Yeah, I think he was the deciding, call it. But I think there was a discussion about that play. It wasn't like he came out of nowhere and said, hey, call this play, throw a deep ball to Devontae.
Yeah, I would agree. But how often he does it, I don't really have a sense of that.
And it's tough because he also at times will kind of throw himself on the dagger. We've seen that too.
Yeah.
I think sometimes he admits to ones he didn't really call.
I think that's true. Protect his guy. It
becomes a little difficult to know exactly how much of it is a back and forth, how much of it is him overriding. But I think even he would probably have trouble with truth serum telling you, because I think there is a lot of back and forth when you're going through play calls like that.
Yeah.
And they like set things up too. Like after this, like they go into a series and Kevin Patullo kind of knows what Nick Sirianni wants him to call. So even if it's not Nick in his ear saying, "Hey, call this exact play," he's still doing it, knowing Nick and what he kind of wants. If that makes sense.
What about the piece of his question about would he be a better play caller now than in 21? I think he would.
Yeah, probably.
I think he would. I mean, he's been around a lot of offensive guys since then, had success. It's a really good question, and I kind of think he would be, but he'll never do it again.
And even if he wasn't a better play caller, I think he'd be better at managing all the different facets of being a head coach. I think that's where it got tricky for him, was trying to do it all in a game, and it was like too much on his plate. Now that he's been in the head coach role for a little bit longer, I think he'd be able to just manage the entire game while also calling plays better. I still don't think he should do that.
Yeah.
I think he is better off not calling plays. I still don't think he would be good at it. I think he'd be better.
Yeah. I just from talking to him, he'll never do it again. I mean, he's been absolute about that.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to do it.
Yeah. It's almost like kind of gutsy to be that.
It really is.
Determined to never do it again. But I guess when you win a Super Bowl, you can do that.
I'm curious to see how Kevin Patullo is going to do calling plays.
I'm excited to watch it.
Won't know that till September 4th for real. Yeah.
The operation was good.
You said game. Friday, by the way.
In my question?
Yeah, and he answered.
Yeah, I really thought it was Friday.
I'm sitting there thinking, I think that game was Thursday, but I'm really not sure.
I've been operating. I think I asked Devontae Smith about the game Friday night too.
But everyone answered. Like, I'm the only person that
because no one else knows the date either.
Yeah, that's true.
We get this deep in the training camp, and I don't. What day is it today? Who knows?
It's Wednesday, I believe.
Is it? Take your word for it. It's the only thing I get wrong in training camp consistently is what day it is.
How about Dave just kind of saying, I don't get anything wrong.
I said consistently.
Except the day of the week.
Consistently, I said.
All right.
You're trying to pick me up on that, but I wasn't. I said consistently wrong. Eagle at NBCUni.com. If you enjoy the Eagle Eye podcast, please rate and subscribe wherever you get your pods. If you're watching on YouTube, please click the like button and subscribe there as well. Reuben, any final thoughts?
95 North looks awful right now. It took me almost an hour and a half to get down here this morning.
Okay.
So I'm looking at a 3-hour round trip, it looks like, based on what I see. I do want to thank everybody at Eagleview, which is a Eagleview Town Center. It's out past Exton. Played there with the Tisburys last night. And John Fay, everyone from Rising Sun. What a fun place. It's this big, like, town square. There's restaurants and condos, and this big quad, this big grassy area, and there's like 500 people there sitting in lawn chairs. A really cool atmosphere, cool vibe. They have concerts there every Tuesday night. They're free. They go from like 7 to 9, and they're over, and it's a lot of fun. So it was a good time, and I met some great people, and it was a lot of fun. I had a good time.
Awesome.
That's my one last thing.
I like that. For Reuben Frank, I'm Dave Zangaro. This has been Eagle Eye presented by Nissan. Another day of joint practices on Thursday.
Let's do it.
We'll talk to you after it.